Hello everybody, and today we're going to talk about non-directional beacon holds. Now, the most common non-directional beacon hold used in DCS is for a Case 3 carrier approach and recovery pattern. So, with the hold, we are going to be instructed to enter a holding pattern about 21 nautical miles away from the carrier, and we're going to be expected to hold that until our expected approach time so that the controller can get other aircraft or possibly get the flight deck ready for landing. So, what we're going to talk about today is how to enter the hold, maintain the hold, and then exit the hold to begin our approach to the carrier. So with that, let's contact the approach controller and get our holding instructions.
Marshall 010, marking mops 067450, Angels 6.5, state 7.2.
010, Lone Warrior Marshall, Case 3 recovery, CD1 approach, expect final bearing 264, altimeter is 29093, 010, Marshall Motors, 84, radio, 21, DME Angels, 6, expected approach time is 15.
Okay, let's break down the phraseology used here by the controller. Marshall's Mother's 084 radial is the heading of the outbound leg of the hold in a Marshall stack. 21 DME is 21 miles measured by our distance measuring equipment, in this case, our TACAN. Angel 6 is 6,000 feet. And finally, we have our expected approach time of 15 after the hour. Now we can take all of this information and create a picture of what the controller expects us to do. First, we will start with our TACAN station of 75 X-ray, which is the carrier. We are then going to draw a line through it on a heading of 84 degrees. This is our radial and our outbound leg heading. To get our heading towards the beginning of our hold, we will be using the reciprocal of this heading, which is 264, which in our case is also our final bearing. At 21 miles indicated from the TACAN, we are expected to begin our hold. From where we are starting, we are going to be using the direct hold entry, which we will fly directly towards where we are expected to hold. All holds, unless specified, are to be done with right-hand turns in legs of 60 seconds, flying at the correct hold speed, which in our case is 300 knots. For our hold over the carrier, we are going to be doing left-hand turns. Once we pass the fix and are beginning our turn, we should call establish to let the controller know we have entered the hold. Once the turn is complete, we will start counting 60 seconds once on the outbound course. Once 60 seconds pass, we will start a 20-degree left-hand turn and head inbound on our inbound heading, which is 264, and begin another 60-second leg. All of this should be done while maintaining the altitude of 6,000 feet. So, what we're going to do is we're going to fly direct towards 21 miles away from the carrier on a reciprocal heading of the radial that we've been given. So the radial is indicating the outbound course, and we're going to have to fly the reciprocal of that in order to enter. So in our case, we're going to be doing a direct hold entry because we are currently facing towards our final bearing, which is the reciprocal of our 084 heading. So right now we're 31 nautical miles away, so we're going to bank more left to join the radial of the approach. And while we're at it, we're going to descend to 6,000. So we get set up for our hold altitude. And our expected hold speed is going to be 300 knots, so we're going to start slowing down here. Now, once we begin the hold procedure, we're going to overfly the point that we are expected to begin the hold at, which is 21 nautical miles. And once we overfly that point, we're going to begin a 20-degree left-hand turn, as left-hand turns are expected with Case 3 holding patterns. However, with other holds, if not stated, it's going to be a right-hand hold. We're approaching the 264, which is the reverse of our 084 radial, so we're going to make right to join. The non-directional beacon track, and we're approaching 21 miles, slowing to 300 knots. All the throttle has it. Okay, 21 miles. Left-hand bank, 20 degrees to heading of 084. And once we establish on a heading of 084 at 21 miles, we will start the clock, count 60-second legs, and then once 60 seconds passes, we'll begin our turn back to 264. Call tower, call established.
010. Established Angels 6, state 6.5.
010, Roger, state 6-5.
Okay, so we've already hit 21 miles, but we're not on 084. Approaching 084, rolling out. And clock starts 10:14, turn at 11:14. Alright, and beginning next turn, next leg. 20-degree bank. Still holding 300 knots. Rolling out 264. 1250. So 1350 should be our next turn at 21 miles. Okay, we're still not at 21 miles. So we're going to wait until we get 21 miles indicated on the TACAN, and then we'll begin our turn. Miles, beginning turn. Rolling out heading 084. (1608) or 1604, sorry. So 1704 start turn. Alright, and on our next turn, we'll be commencing our approach since we are past our expected approach time. Um, so the one thing that we will be doing is calling commencing once we turn back in after our outbound leg, and then we'll begin our descent towards the carrier. There are multiple ways to enter a NDB hold based on the way that you're approaching the hold and the radial that you're expected to fly. A link is in the description to another YouTuber's video for how to enter IFR holding patterns and how to enter non-directional beacon holds. Alright, 1704, starting turn now. And once we're established on 264, we will begin by descending to 5,000 and calling commencing before we begin our descent. Alright, rolling out 264. Calling approach and saying commencing.
010. Commencing. State 5.4. Altimeter 29.93.
010. Radar contact 28 miles. Expect final bearing 264.
Alright, we've gotten a data link update, so we're going to be slowing to 250 knots, descending at a rate of 5,000 feet, or 4,000 feet per minute to an altitude of 5,000. And we're going to do slowing, increasing descent rate. We're going to be holding 250 knots until we reach about 1,200, so I'm going to re-engage yellow throttle here in a second.
Altitude. Altitude.
Holding at 5,000.
Switch approach.
010. 010. Checking in 20 miles. 010. Approach. Final bearing 264. 010.
Alright, calling platform.
010. Platform. 010. Roger.
Then we will continue to descend at a rate of 2,000 feet per minute down to deck and continue our case 3 approach. Hopefully this helps with your NDB holds, and I will see you in the next video.